because I then resigned from there and enrolled at Polytechnic for marketing diploma. My aim was really not to work a low job, was to grow and be somewhere in life.
Let me take you back a little bit. Now you have been exposed to Blantyre, you have been exposed to the work environment. But when you were in secondary school, did you have any idea of what sort of job you would do perhaps after that?
You reminded me of one incident. I think one incident that happened that inspired me a lot is when I was as very young as standard 5. There was a UNICEF car that came for immunization. Okay, so it came from wherever it came to our school. And then all kids ran away from the windows and all over, running away. Yeah, but a few of us stood. And this guy, there was a young guy in that one, said, "Why are you not running away?" And my answer was, I would one day want to work with an organization with a white number like this one. So the large number for CDs is white. So that inspired me a lot. And that was my vision. At one point, I would want to work with an organization that has a white registration number on their cars. That was just a vision. From nowhere, that was the first time, and I never saw that car again until I came.
That was an inspiration.
That was an inspiration. So, and I think the other thing that really pushed me was I always looked at the poverty that I grew up. And in my thinking was, how can I change this for people? So that has inspired me to move along with the idea of working in the development spectrum. Now, when I was doing this work with the Stagecoach, all my idea was, I don't think this is my job. This is business, pure business. I don't think this is my job. I need to do something else. Now, without issue of career guidance, I didn't know what course is there because I wasn't selected straight away to go to university. But then, what should I do? So out of just reading, I said, maybe let's try marketing. So I enrolled at Polytechnic to do marketing.
And what year was that?
In 1999, 2000. Okay. And then I did well. I qualified with distinction, that diploma in marketing, and left. And as soon as I left that in 2001, I was selected to go for internship at that particular time, very rare, with Malawi Care, owned by the Dr. Vela Shirwa. So that was the tipping point.
Now you've started your college life. You are studying for your diploma. Where did you get the money to finance this? Were you saving up when you were working? What happened for you to be able to afford this?
So remember, I came home from with 20 kwacha, and I was getting some allowances from Stagecoach, and every month I was saving some monies. So the moment I was resigning, I paid for a rental house in Chimwankunda in Blantyre for the 2 years, paid in advance for 2 years. And the money paid for fees again for the whole course. So that now was me doing piecework on weekend to just get money for food. So that's how I was used to live. And at one point, my uncle, the husband to the aunt who died, tried to take me to live in his home. But when you haven't lived in that particular environment, it was so hard. They were also struggling because they were really surviving on sand mining. I have done that in my life, going to the rivers, sand mine, and then sell them at wheelbarrows and all those things. But it couldn't work, so I preferred to live alone and not. And then in the end of the 2 years, by grace of God, I met my father, would say, from the village, Mr. Kumenda, who lived in Blantyre as well. He just met in town. I said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I'm living alone." He said, "Come back and live with me." So I started living now with my brother, with Mr. Kumenda he's now in Katsonga. That's where we started living there, and then I started doing all the school and finished everything. Now, after I finished the school, I went to start with, that's because Mr. Kumenda was a neighbor to a program officer for Malawi Care. That's where I was identified to go and do the internship. So I started doing the internship, and I remember the program manager there then from Mulanje was Mr. Schari. He was doing a training on human rights. So I attended the training as an orientation for 1 week. And then the next week, he got sick. So he got sick. He said, Frank, you have been in this training for 1 week. Can you do it? Because I don't want to cancel the training.
So now you're taking over from him.
Yes. So I started facilitating the whole training for a whole week for the village development committees on human rights. And Dr. Vera Chiro was one of our guests in one day, and he looked at me and said, you are too good to be an intern.
You're getting an employment later now.
So I got employed for a contract of 1 year, and worked for 1 year, and then that project came to an end. And then in 2003, going back to zero, jobs were too scarce. It's not just starting today, it started a long time ago. Remember, I had to go now to city council. If you see people that are collecting 20 kwachas and like for parking fees in Lilongwe, it started with us in Blantyre in 2003. There are good 30 members of us who started that thing. So we recruited that as security wardens in Blantyre. And the salary then was 5,320.
So you have your marketing diploma.
Yes.
The project you're working on has reached its end.
Yes.
But now there's nothing to do.
There's nothing to do. I have to survive. So I think what I'm trying to say is, especially for young people, is you can have your degree, you can have whatever you have, but the starting point has to be humble. You have to start where you can and grow within. So I started as that job, moving down from about 18,000 salary to 5,000, and started doing that job in 2003. And within that year, I got an offer for Center for Alternatives for Victimized Women and Children to work as a program officer there. So I'm moving back from being in this sales and marketing and back to the development sector. So in 2003, I think, and that was November thereabout, I got an offer to go and start this organization. And the challenge that Mrs. Tweya, the wife of Justice Tweya, who was the director then, told me was, Frank, we don't have money. We only have 3 million to run this organization. You are going to be here if you find money to work. So we really implemented that project in Chilazuru very well. And at the end of the year, we found ourselves generating more resources from Oxfam and from Action Aid.
You had built trusts.
Built trusts. Really a long-term partnership with Oxfam. And fasting forward the story, I worked with that organization for about 7 years, from 2003, actually not 7, 8 years, 2003 to 2010. Now, between these is when I enrolled with Sherwood Open University. So before that, actually I enrolled with Mbemba for diploma. Yes, for certificate in law. So I did that for 6 months, obtained a certificate in law. Because one of the work that we're doing at the Center for Victimized Women and Children was to provide counseling for women and marriages and all those things. So I wanted to have a legal background of that. So I qualified and started doing that work. And then in 2009, I enrolled at Sherwood Open University for community development, managing rural and community development. And in 2012, I graduated with a distinction from Sherwood University. And then in 2012, when in between there, I had left this organization to go to Federation of Disability Organizations in Malawi as head of programs. So I worked there for 3 years and then moved to USAID, US Embassy, as grants officer representative, managing self-help fund. So you can see it was a combination of work, school, and then which I skipped one thing is in 2004 I got married to Susan. So it was a combination of marriage, work, and school. And I am a family man with 3 children. Our firstborn is now 19, getting 20 in August. She's doing her 3rd year in Mzuzu University for International Relations and Diplomacy. Our secondborn is a boy, is Form 2, and the lastborn is a girl, is Standard 2. So this is me growing up, and then moving from to USAID in 2018 to World Connect as its country director. So it is a journey combined with sorrows at the beginning, but was success at the end. As I'm talking now, I have a master's in transformative community development from Unizuzu University.
You've shared quite a lot. What I want to ask now is, what kept you motivated, to get better? Because you're moving from a background where no one has been to secondary school, and now you get to the point where you have a diploma in marketing. I think at that stage you'd have felt ndafika. Yeah, I'm there. But what pushed you to this point that you now have a master's degree in transformative and community development?
One transformative change that pushed a mind in me to move on was, remember I mentioned about the UNICEF vehicle.
Yes.
So that kept ringing a bell on me to say, at one point I have to work for those. And I asked myself, will the diploma take me there? The answer was no. And my sole experience, when my dad in 2012, in 2011, in December, I went home and we used, we're doing a monitoring for projects. We used an embassy 2CD, which is a white number, because I had narrated that story with my dad. And when he saw it, he started crying. I said, Dad, what are you crying? And he said, you remember when UNICEF came at the school, you told me that one day you're going to use this car. And when I saw the white number, I thought your dream has come true. So it was that motivation of having a drive towards a goal, number one. It was the poverty that I went through in the family. It was terrible. Terrible. Actually, when people see me, even my own kids don't understand and don't know where we're coming from. So it was that kind of environment that pushed me going. How can we break the poverty? And I thought, when I came to town, I saw people working in banks, different areas in development sector, and that gave me another push to move on with my life. So that has been a journey of progress. And I think one is not supposed to get satisfied until you reach the objective that you want to be.
Take us through the journey now, transitioning from local NGOs, and I believe you've pretty much seen the growth of the NGO sector in Malawi. What are we there yet as a country now in terms of NGOs and the civil society in general? Have we done well? Where are we?
I think it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag because at the moment we're at a time when we're talking of localization. I believe it's coming late. We needed to start being long time ago. Why long time ago? Because I believe there's so much investment that have gone into this country that could have been utilized better. For once, you put it right, I have been in the local NGO sector before, joined the big international organizations, and then you come back to the funding cycle as well. I think what I feel as a challenge is, as NGOs, we have also contributed to the failure of development in this country. Because we have not been accountable to the society, which is why we are coming to the localization drive. Most of the times we have done what I normally call consultation by incitation, where we consult the masses to get their ideas, and then when we go to the designing of the programs, we put our own ideas in there, and then the resources come, they not wholesomely revert to the solving the challenges that the people have said on the community. I think that's the jigsaw puzzle that we need to solve. And this is why I really thought I should move from the international organization that just deals with funding, but to a locally led kind of organization that can now champion the true meaning of development, where we listen to the communities and say, what do you really want? How can you be at the center of implementation, and what needs to be done? So this is why I believe localization is the key for us, as shifting the power, as is locally known now, commonly known globally, is the power, because we would want to put Malawians at the center of their own development, where they are championing their own needs, their own aspirations, but not only that, but also they are putting their own resources. Remember, if you put your resources,